Are you willing to forgive the past version of yourself in order for you to become the best version of yourself? Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it does not apply, it's not for you. So don't force it. But most importantly, let it fly, as well as grab your pen, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why forgiveness is important, how to forgive yourself, but most importantly, just asking yourself if you're ready to do that, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what to be aware of. Starting off with the disclaimers and what you should be aware of, forgiveness doesn't have a timeline. So you have to realize that when you learn to forgive yourself, you don't have to rush. You don't have to feel overwhelmed, but most importantly, you don't have to compare your trauma and your trial relations to any and everybody else. Why? Because you're the only person who went through the things that you went through, experienced the things that you were exposed to, and felt the way you did. And because nobody and myself can invalidate your experiences, learning to grieve is necessary. And when you're in your season of grievance and when you're in your season of isolation, take your time. What has helped me along my healing journey was to be patient with myself and practice forgiveness by accepting what I've gone through. Yes, we all go through things. Yes, everybody has emotions. Yes, some people suffer more than others. But it's like at the end of the day, I was the only person who could decide when I was ready to move forward and let go of certain mindsets and behaviors and etc. Why? Because trauma changes you psychologically, emotionally, physically, and financially. And when you're not used to changes or you're constantly changing, it could be a lot. It can affect you in so many different areas of your life. So that's the first thing. Take your time when you're learning to forgive yourself, especially if you're learning to forgive yourself alone. Maybe you don't have the family, maybe you don't have a therapist, maybe you haven't seen a psychiatrist, maybe you don't have people that you can trust and confide. Be patient and relax. The second disclaimer of what you should be aware of when you're forgiving yourself, as well as not rushing yourself, is knowing that it's okay. When you learn to grieve and you realize you made certain choices in your past based off of what you knew and who you knew, you won't feel so hard on yourself. You won't feel the need to constantly doubt yourself or speak so low of yourself. And I know personally, the traumatic situations that I've been exposed to, majority of the time have been taught and shown to me. And this is not to blame, because at the end of the day, everybody's a victim when you go through abuse, but then you get to decide if you want to continue to be a victim or if you want to be a conqueror. And obviously we'll talk about that further in the video, but it's just like, you did go through the things that you went through. You were touched on inappropriately at an early age. You were homeless. You were jobless. You did lose your job. You didn't pass your driver's test. You did lose a family member. You went through the things you went through. You were diagnosed with whatever it was. You were bullied. You were made fun of. You did have people try to sabotage you. Like, everybody on this earth goes through things. And of course, as your favorite mental health specialist, who's really your favorite rich auntie, we're here to be vulnerable. We're here to be honest. And that's the third thing. When you realize that you've been taught and shown certain things from certain people, places, and things, you can hold yourself accountable and realize, okay, where did I contribute because I made certain choices? Or what did I see? What was I exposed to? How was I influenced? And just holding yourself accountable and being honest. When you're honest, you could be accountable. So was everybody a factor in my life? No. Did I play a part? Yes. Was I able to be responsible for where I went wrong? Yes. But am I also going to hold other people accountable? Yes. It's not about constantly pointing fingers and saying, well, he did this, she did that. Okay, no. As you mature, you realize the people and the places and things who hurt you and harm you are going to continue to live their life, and they didn't care. You can't worry about what people have done to you once you realize that they're no longer in your life. As long as you're able to heal and you're grieving and you're taking your time and you're honest about what has happened to you and you're honest about how it made you feel, you're going to move forward. So it's just like learning to forgive yourself is something that you don't have to constantly overthink or you constantly just don't have to be like so harsh on yourself. And of course, when you've gone through a significant amount of trauma, rather it was at the expenses of other people or yourself, not knowing any better, not being educated, not being wise, not having education, not having resources or family and support, you think it's the end of the world. You think it's a big deal. What I had to realize is that, yes, I made certain choices in my life. And then again, there were other people that were involved. But instead of me being bitter and angry and frustrated towards the other people, I just decided, you know what, let me self-reflect. Let me realize where I could have done things better, learn the lesson, and move forward. It's no reason to allow certain people and places and things to continue to have power over you. And once again, I'm not invalidating experience. There are some malicious and wicked people and people who are narcissistic and envious and people who are dangerous. I've been there, I've done that. But once again, none of those people could break my spirit. None of those people could break my soul. None of those people can affect my mind, so psychologically, because they're not me. And you have to realize that. That's the fourth thing. When you're learning to forgive yourself, you need to remember who you are. You're a beautiful, loving, positive, kind, confident person, because that's my target audience. And mature. Keyword mature. Doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, hey, gay, them, she, we, LGQ, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, F, G, G, okay? And all these other acronyms. At the end of the day, learning to forgive yourself is about you, but most importantly, just being kind. And that's the fifth thing. Learning to be nicer to yourself. We make choices. You can't go back and change what you did, what you would have known, who you surround yourself with. It's no reason to constantly look at our past if we're not looking at it to improve. It's no reason to constantly worry about what happened to you 5 years, 10. It's unhealthy. And this is why a lot of people suffer with PTSD. This is why a lot of people are depressed. This is why a lot of people are anxious. And most importantly, this is why a lot of people are bitter. Yes, once again, it takes time. I'm speaking from experience, so I'm not rushing you guys. And this is why I make these videos, because I've lived through it. I've done that. And this is the purpose of that, is to inform, educate, and motivate and recommend, so you can take what resonates and you can continue to live your best life, because the time is going to go by. As you're learning to forgive yourself, you just become wiser. You end up having more discernment. Like, am I necessarily worried about what somebody did to me in 2nd and 5th grade? No, because 99, if not 100% of the time, you won't even be exposed to certain people, places, and things once you see certain things, once you know certain things. Like, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you learn something, you can unlearn it if you want to. But it's like, if the people and the places and things caused you harm, they weren't for you, they didn't have your best interest, why be concerned about them? You don't need to get revenge. You don't need to get your lick back, because when you go out your way to get revenge, you end up dealing with the consequences of your actions. And 100% of the time is never good. Losing your life in a matter of 15 seconds, whether you're going to jail, you're getting into a fist fight, losing your job, having people murdered, killed, is unnecessary. Arguing is unnecessary. Once you realize, okay, certain people, places, and things are envious, you know to protect yourself from these certain people, places, and things. Once you realize certain people, places, and things are negative, you separate yourself from negativity. You surround yourself with the positivity. You do everything that's opposite of that. If people made fun of you for looking a certain type of way, you continue to embrace those things. You surround yourself with people who are willing to accept you. And that's going to be a part of the recommendations. Knowing who's for you and who's not. Once you realize that you try to be there for people and they don't want to be there for you, you don't need to be there for them. You need to know that when you're forgiving yourself, you have to continue to surround yourself with people and places and things who have the emotional intelligence, who are wise, and who genuinely care and respect you in themselves, even when you have differences and disagreements. When you learn to forgive yourself, you make better choices. And that's what life is about, is just learning from the choices that you make. Because what could you do? This doesn't mean that you're not going to feel angry. You're not going to feel sad. You're not going to feel frustrated. You're not going to feel like you spent time, energy, money, and finances, and etc. with certain people, places, things, but it's gone and it's done and over with. Move on and move forward, The second recommendation when you're learning to forgive yourself is express how you feel. If you're mad because somebody did something to you, yes, talk about it in the moment. Yes, talk about it. So therefore, you can release and stop suppressing how you feel. Like, you can generally say, you know what, this pissed me off, or I'm mad because of this. I'm mad with my mom. I'm mad with my cousin. I'm mad with my boyfriend. I'm mad with my girlfriend. I'm mad with Be honest. Tell the truth. Express your truth. Write it in a journal. Write it in the comment section. Write it on your notes. See a psychiatrist. Go to your therapist. Go to your God, ancestors, universe. Take what resonates, leave the rest, because I'm not here to force religion or spirituality. But it's just like, you do have to talk about it, because the longer you stay frustrated and angry inside, the more it's going to harvest. The more you're going to project and deflect and block people like me and the people that are meant to be in your life to be there for you. Talk about it. Be mad for maybe a day, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 months. Afterwards, you're not going to continue to be mad. Why? Because you talked about it. Once you talk about it, then you could realize, okay, how did it make me feel? How did it affect you? Let me know. When you were touched on it inappropriately, how did it make me feel? Then you can come up with a solution. Okay, so what do I do now moving forward? Do I want to confront these people? Do I want to file a police report? Do I need to move? Do I need to cut off certain people, places, and things? Now what? This is solution-based content only, like I said, the very mature audience. So all rude, negative, disrespectful comments, ignore them. And that's going to be the third thing. Ignore anything that doesn't allow you to be you or allow you to practice forgiveness. And if you have to create distance from people you thought loved you and cared about you, don't think twice about it. Learn to put people in their place, meaning know who's an associate, know who's your friend, know who's your coworkers, know people that you can be there, and vice versa. Anything else, it's unnecessary. The fourth recommendation when you're learning to forgive yourself is just to be you. Fall in love with yourself. So I'm challenging you guys before I end off this video to let me know some things that you do to make you feel good. Whether it's watching movies, going to musicals, exercising, meditation, sleeping, journaling, shopping, playing video games. What are some things that you guys like to do? I'm going to give you guys an example. So therefore, whenever you're sad or you're overwhelmed or you're going through your withdrawals, you're going through the highs and the lows, you could focus on that. Is that going to solve your problems right then and there? No. But it is going to help you improve your mood. And that's the whole purpose of this video. And once again, this continent. I said continent. This content. I mean, we do live on a continent, and let me know what continent you're watching this from right now. But no, you do have to realize that healing yourself, improving yourself, you have to do this repetitively until you get better. And that's the fifth and final recommendation. Practice makes you. Practice makes improvement. You have to constantly talk about how you feel. You have to constantly self-reflect. You constantly have to sit with yourself. You constantly have to go to therapy. You constantly have to see a psychiatrist. You constantly have to talk to your friends and book your service with me, your favorite mental health specialist. My link is down in the description down below. You constantly have to pray. You constantly have to meditate. You constantly have to connect and go with him. This is not something you do for a day, especially if, once again, you are not taught and shown how to let things go or how to articulate yourself or how to be vulnerable, or you feel like you can't be seen. And most importantly, you cannot be afraid. Now, of course, is everyone going to come on this internet and say everything and address all their personal issues? No, but it's just like, if you're here to heal and become confident and be better and be positive, you do have to be okay with expressing yourself. Nobody's going to judge you. Stop thinking about the people who hurt and harm you to where you're not able to forgive yourself. So lastly, when are you going to forgive yourself? And why do you feel like it's so hard for you to forgive yourself? Speaking from experience, what I've realized is that I'm not somebody who holds grudges. I never have. I never will be. And the reason why I can't hold a grudge, you guys, to save my life is because I don't have the energy. This doesn't mean, like I said, what people did was right. Those people know what they did. But I know how the world works. And as somebody who's lived for 28 years, going on 29 very soon, I know that what comes around goes back around. What goes up must come down. And what you put out, it comes back to you. It sure does. I've witnessed it. I've seen it. I've seen it with other people, and I've witnessed it with other people. So I'm not losing the sleep. As long as you continue to be a good person, as long as you right your wrongs, like Bryson Tiller said, as long as you forgive yourself, as long as you repent, as long as you apologize and you change your ways and you do what you know you're supposed to be doing, in due time, in due season. Nothing in life is going to stay the same, but it's like, I'm not losing sleep. Was I mad, angry, and sad that I surrounded myself with dusties, men and women, jobs and environments? Yeah, I was. Did these people take advantage and try to do all this negative, low, malicious things? Yeah, they did. But once again, that's not who I am. That's not my character, and I don't receive projections and deflections. If people want to be nasty and horrible and people want to make up in their mind how they want to feel about you, you make sure that they stand on it. So at the end of the day, thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Thank you for giving a big thumbs up. Like always, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much for always liking and engaging, as well as, like I said, booking your service and your session. My link is down in the description box down below, as well as follow me on all my other social media platforms. Head on Instagram and on TikTok, because for the month of October, which is coming to an end very time soon when I'm making this, let me know when you're watching this, I'm going live answering you guys' questions and seeing what we want to talk about like for the rest of this month and maybe next year, or like November, December, like I said, depending on when you're watching this, as well as making sure that you guys having your post notifications. I think I said that already. I don't remember if I did, but most importantly, giving yourself grace. Like, learning to forgive yourself takes time, and you know, you don't have to feel obligated to rush or compare yourself, because once again, like, you went through the things that you went through, and you guys, I have my MacBook in front of me. You went through the things that you went through, so it's just like, take your time. You're gonna be angry, you're gonna be sad. That's a part of grief, okay? Look up grieving, like, if you don't know what that means, as well as just knowing that you deserve better. Like, the past version of you, like your younger self, your childhood self, your inner child, your future self, they all deserve the best. And you won't be able to be the best version of yourself if you allow other people's energy and mindsets and behaviors to affect you for the rest of your life, okay? Love you, bye.